Is that going? Is that hibbity-hibbity-boop? Is that working? All right. Let's do it. Okay, everybody. We're still waiting for Biggums to get his internet back. So I guess we'll just carry on with Charity Tuesday how we can while we can. So our charity today is we're raising money because Biggums is a big dog fan, and I figured we'll do a puppy dog one. We're raising money for the Guide Dog Foundation. They're one of the leaders in the world for training guide dogs, service dogs, for people who are blind, disabled, have sensory issues. And they train the dogs and they get them out to the folks for at no cost. And it's a great way to help folks out who need the assistance to help live independently. And it's a great charity. So we've already raised $357 in the hour. We've been waiting for Biggums to get his internet back. So I want to thank everybody who's done that already. We've been waiting quite a while, so hopefully I can actually thank all the folks, but I have a feeling that I can't. Dang it. It cut me off at 5:30, so an hour ago, 5:50. So I can thank some of the people. I can thank Fishin' Ninja 82, thank you so much. And I can thank Justin G. And I can thank this is the only two that I can see. Oh, that's what happens when I take forever to get this happen. Okay. Well, the other like 25, 30, 40 people that have donated, thank you. I'm sorry I can't shout out your names. A reminder for the folks who are watching the recorded version later, there'll be a spot on one of these sides of the screen where you can continue to donate. So the donation will last in perpetuity. The way YouTube works it is I select the charity from their like list of highly rated charities that they have. I click it. All of a sudden, any of the money that's sent goes straight to them through YouTube. YouTube collects none of it. I collect none of it. It all goes straight to the charity. And then you get an email or you have a notice in your YouTube account about your charity donation so that you can put it towards your taxes and whatnot. It's great. We have met our goal every single solitary time done with these shows. Our Christmas show, or one in December, we set our record at $3,909 raised for St. Jude's. So freaking awesome. And the Hain Train got in on this one. There's $20 from the Hain Train. Thank you so much. He's one of the reasons why the other one was so successful. You know what happened in the hour that I was waiting for him to for Biggums to show up? Is I forgot to fill my water. Hey, monkey bud, monkey, entertain them for like 20 seconds. I'm gonna fill this water. It's Jeopardy music. Here we go. Or better yet, you know what we can do? While we're doing that, here, I can leave you with this and I can run and fill the water. Ready? 1, 2, 3, slap. There we go. Chair. Did you do a good job? Did you entertain them, monkey? Did you keep things awesome? Okay, see, there we go. Right? Good job. You're a good co-host. A regular Ed McMahon. That's what you are. Yeah. Okay. All right, got my water. At least one of the water glasses filled in that time. Is that really water, Houston? Yes. Artemis, thank you. Anonymous, thank you. Well, I guess while we wait for Biggums to show up, we will just talk about our day, right? Let's see here. Not too much pop today. We talked a little bit. GNS is doing their spin-off of their like hotel whatever thing. Apparently, and it was subtle, it's going to be a crypto dividend. It's going to be a stock that's traded on a blockchain that they're going to be spinning out. And cool. That should be interesting. So we might get a situation sort of overstockish for that. And what else happened today, Monkey? I'm all like, my brain was like, oh, we're gonna ask Biggums these things, and now my head is not in normal space. um, oh crap, we're at 467. David Springer Tribus, thank you. 46.7% of the way there, and we're like 6 minutes into this mess of a show already. Thank you. All right. Okay. So, dude drinks tap water on purpose. I do drink tap water. This is delicious Washington State tap water from a well. It's the good stuff. This is your bottled water isn't as good as my tap water. I'll tell you that much right now. Darren Martin, thank you. Daphne, thank you. Oh my goodness. Okay. Oh, I forgot to close my door. My roommate likes to walk around the house listening to his phone really loud. It's a strange hobby. Okay. I am going to be, well, I'm only an hour behind the chat because the chat deleted the rest of it, which is a very weird thing that YouTube does. Okay. Let's find where questions start, because most of the talk in the chat is actually about how I'm late, Biggums is late, and everybody's late, and we're all late, and everything's being late. So, if Fusing goes live, we would just be viewing tech support for 40 minutes. Grape, Houston, happy birthday. Can you explain your bird classification system again and give us some examples? What kind of bird is an owl? An owl is a not crow. You got seagull, not seagull, crow, not crow, chicken, not chicken. That's the only 6 types of birds you have to worry about. Now, you can get into nitty gritties, and there are some like hybrids. Like a penguin is a not seagull, not chicken. It's a hybrid of those. Like a bald eagle would be a seagull crow hybrid. So we got different classifications out there, and tap water or city water, it's horrible. Well, maybe where you are, Washington is delicious. It does this piss rain here and fill up the cisterns and the wells and the groundwater. Water's fantastic. I remember once working in a bar, I had this couple and poured them water, and they tasted like, "What's up with your water?" And it's like, it's delicious. Like, it tastes so different and weird. Like, where are you from? They said Arizona. I was like, it's because your water sits in a metal pipe for like 2,000 miles. You're just drinking rusty water. This is delicious water that came from like 15 feet below your feet. It's good. To come to Florida, we drink out of toilets here. Hilo water was really good too on the Big Island, because Hilo, we talked about before, is the largest freshwater spring in the world, which is Hilo Bay. 700 million gallons a day of fresh water pump into Hilo Bay. They have enough water to support a population of 15 million because of the rainforests there. It just rains and rains and rains. So they've got plenty of fresh water. It's delicious water too. Spectrum doesn't want this YouTube stream to happen. Okay. FRMZ. Ooh, I like bird questions. I have one. Is there a female cardinal who continually jumps on my car side view mirror from the ground and repeats? Why is she doing that? Birds do weird things with mirrors because I don't think they understand that mirrors are not another creature. Like, I'm sure some of you had the experience of like your house or a neighbor's house having a robin show up and then just bash its head into the window constantly because it keeps thinking that there's another robin there they've got to fight. I had a neighbor who had to put like owls and pictures of raptors in their windows so the robin would stop showing up, bashing his head into their windows. So, and on the entity, it's got the duck is not a seagull down. Yeah, a duck is not a seagull. There you go. But red hair's female seeks mirror. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we gotta check the Zoom window to see if Biggins has come in there. Let's message. You saw the last message. But my guess is he's basically on his phone at the moment for internet, and he's not in front of the computer. Okay. Tarp's been pulled from the field. A few rooms of E. Oh, it's like talking about electricity going down, I guess, in lots of places. Oh, we're at 507 now. Did I miss some couple people? Got Martinez. I'll just update. Okay, we're over 50% of the way to our charity goal here on Charity Tuesday as we kill time waiting for the Charter Spectrum internet guys to fix AMCBiggums internet for us, and then we can proceed with all the questions that I had spooling around in my brain. And I'm currently in no frame of mind to do a normal show at the moment. Just beg you for money, and then hopefully can scroll and find some questions here. All right, Robert Hurt, Houston, I know you don't want to go to Florida, but you really need to be sitting second seat. I would donate to a pool for a last second flight. What's second seat? I don't know what that is, Robert Hurt. Second seat? Second seat? Second seat. The second congressional district. I got seatbelt laws. I have no idea what you're talking about. What is second seat? And I don't know. So expand on that, Robert Hurt, because I don't know what second seat is. I've not been to Florida in forever. Oh, second seat attorney. Oh, okay. All right. Sit there and just mumble like for the peanut gallery things into Rose's ear. Houston, do you need headphones now? I don't need headphones, but at the moment I've been wearing them for an hour, and I feel like it's going to be weird if I take them off, and then all of a sudden I feel really loud to myself, and then I got to put them back on again. And plus, I've already got like ear muff head, so I might as well just leave them on. Yeah. Okay. Breakers. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's see here. Problem is that all the chat I can see is like the conversation of, well, we're waiting for an hour, so let's just shoot each other. Oh, but Robert Hurt does want to know about best Girl Scout cookies. Thin Mints, Tagalongs, those are my two favorites. Thin Mints, Tagalongs. What would be after that? Like I don't like the coconut ones. I'm not a fan of coconut. The circly ones with chocolate on them, the hole in the middle. The don't have coconut, I'm cool with. Shortbread. I pretty much have like my friend puts out a thing on Facebook. It's like, hey, my daughter's selling cookies, and I just send them $100 and tell them to get me, like what, 10 Thin Mints and 10 Tagalongs, and then I'm good to go for till next year. Although I can't put away a sleeve of Thin Mints like that. Samoas, yeah, those are the coconut ones, and no, I'm not a fan, not a fan of those. I don't like coconut. They're brand. The old cookies were the best. I do remember the cookies being better than they are now. Like something like the Thin Mints back in the day actually had like the mint cream on the cookie, and they don't have that anymore. Now it's just kind of like a mint chocolate mix that gets dipped on them. But uh, Tagalong is the language spoken in the Philippines. I mean, there's that too. Uh, well, BW Brand says recipe has been changed several times. The contract the cookies out. Even regional differences exist now. I used to know of a blog that explained it. Well, I'm wondering, like, I do remember vividly, some point maybe 20-25 years ago, the Thin Mints themselves changed a whole bunch, and I was like, this isn't what I remember. Um, so that would explain it. Yeah. All right. No Biggums yet. Learning lots about electricity and cookies. Okay. Scrolling. Are people talking about buying meat at the store? A lot of inside checks up. I was talking with Marius earlier today because he's the fantastic German BLSP Black Death who is editing clips from the show and posting them, and he's like he's taking Photoshop classes, learning how to make the little thumbnails that I never bothered to do because I don't have that skill. And So sorry, I'm trying to read people making fun of my GeoGuessr games. And we were talking about like he was suggesting that we make a membership thing, which I am terrible at the Patreon to begin with. Like the whole idea of the Patreon was, oh, I will attach that to the treasure hunt, and that will go on for months, and that will do things, and then uh, that was a mess. But YouTube apparently has like a subscription membership thing as well. But I'm trying to figure out how to like I don't want to just be like, you guys just joined the YouTube thing and you get like stickers or whatever. I don't understand what those things are. I want to figure out how to I want to do like merch but for members. That makes sense? Like I don't know, a t-shirt that has a picture of monkey butt on it and it says monkey butt on one side, and then it's a picture of her backside and it says destroyer of worlds on the other side, or my fish wears a mattress shirt, or be stronger than your lizard brain or something, things like that you guys will understand. Maybe a special Houston We Have a Problem Hawaiian shirt that you can only get if you're a Houston We Have a Problem person and no one else can have it. So I'm learning how to do those things. But at the same time, I also like am not into marketing. You can't tell. So maybe an Eye of Africa shirt with Long Island. Those two can duke it out. Houston, let's have a design t-shirt contest. Totally. Yeah. I really want to. I want a shirt that has like a lizard with a really strong arm, like squeezing a brain. It just says "Be stronger than your lizard brain," and I don't know how to make that because I can't draw to save my life. You guys see my art skills when I pull up paint to like make a graph? It's terrible. I would wear all those shirts. See, I think they'd be good shirts, right? I don't want them to be only things that like you guys would know about and the rest of society would have no clue as to what any of it means. Would not even say the name of the show. Just, my fish wears a mattress. And then that's it. That's all it is. So, let's see here. So we're looking to see if there's any updates from Biggums at all. Okay, things back. Give me like 5 minutes to let Murphy out. Okay. All right. So he should be popping in here any minute now. Perfect. And he can save me from my ramblings because I was not prepared to go solo tonight. My brain was not in that space. But let's scroll. Let's scroll and see. Is he's on a hot date. It's hottest date ever, right, Monkey? Yeah. Tell Biggums a weed guy. Go slap him until he joins the Zoom call. Artemis, I refuse to dance until I see Houston's handsome face and monkey butt and Chalupa Batman. Chalupa Batman was in here earlier, and then he was like, "Nothing's happening. Let me out." I can see if he wants to come back. Does he want to come back? Oh, there. You get. He might be outside or something. I have no idea. He's nowhere to be found. None. Nowhere to be found. Okay. Boop, 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 boom. Diamond handing this live stream. Okay. Jimmy D and Squamps both love their poop jokes. They love those things. Okay, I can do a couple more thank yous while we're waiting for him to pop up here. Who else? We got Don Caesar Shadem. Thank you. And Talvin 4, the winner of our calendar winner from the last show. He's donated. Cameron Mirza and Grandpa Barney's in here. Fantastic. Grandpa Barney, I'm sure Biggums could have used you helping fix everything that's going wrong with his internet. Okay. And there goes the chat reset. So now I just lost another hour of the chat. Okay. Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. Guitar stuff. These are the kind of places I want to get lost in after the squeeze. This looks very far north. Let's oh yeah, the monkey butt cam is currently the the little side cam because I'm on Zoom. So Google Earth, bam, 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 boom, boom, boom. We're going way up here. All right, we're in the middle of a lake. We are in a lake, I think. Is this Alberta or BC? I couldn't quite, or we're further north than that. Fort Resolution. Oh, we're up in the Northwest Territories, I think. Or Yukon, maybe. Northwest Territories. It's a big-ass lake. You could definitely get lost up there. My guess is that it's a lot of skeeters up here. At Fort Resolution, we get looks like some sort of mining operation. Going here. Maybe diamonds, because these are all look like maybe kimberlite pipes are digging into. Might be a diamond operation. These all these pothole lakes look like diamondiferous kimberlite pipes to me. So my guess is mine. So probably a big diamond mining operation. Okay, cool. And that's probably check out. It's probably bigger than all the others. If those are diamondiferous, I'd look at that guy. What else we got out here? Whole bunch of pothole lakes out here. Oh goodness gracious! Test all these suckers. See how many of these have diamonds in them too. So man, look how dense that is. Of those pothole lakes. That's the stuff you're looking for. That's like the Kraton. But yeah, then go hang out Yellowknife. As good as any. Oh, no, not. Ah. You got that. Turn you off. Turn you off. I went to the wrong one. I went to the. It's because I got water, monkey. You didn't do your job and make sure that I hit the button right. All right, Biggums, come on. I'm dying here, man. Get in here. Oh. Okay, he must still be letting the dog out while we wait, and I'm dying. And we're at $601, so we're 60.1% of the way to our $1,000 goal. Oh, it's weird. I guess it didn't update when Barney donated. Like people donate, I see it pop up, and that takes a minute for it to update the total. Oh, he's here. Okay. Admit. There we go. Take my headphones on.
Can you hear me, buddy?
I can hear you. How are you? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can
Hello?
hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me, buddy?
I can hear you. How are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Excellent. I'm slowly dying right now because I went live and I actually didn't have anything prepared. So, but we're at $601 towards our goal of raising $1,000 or hopefully more for the Guide Dog Foundation. I chose the Guide Dog Foundation because I know that you are a big puppy dog fan, and I figured might as well help some folks get some dogs trained and out to those who are blind, have other sensory problems, or handicapped that need help with service dogs and guide dogs. So that's our charity this week or this month. Oh no, did you vanish?
No, man, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Definitely a good charity. I love that you picked that. I told my wife that, and she was pretty excited about that too. So.
Oh no, excellent. Cool.
No, man, I appreciate that.
I think we have like a pinch of reverb or something that's coming.
All right, I got to get rid of that echo. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect.
I can hear you on the Zoom now. Hold on, give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
God, dude, Howie's something with this fucking garbage computer, buddy. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay. I'll just chill out, pet the dog. A little slug under a rug. Shall we entertain the crowds while we wait? Oh, yeah, there it is. That's something to get you moving. All right. All right. Oh, you want to come get it? Come on. Okay, come get it. Take it out of my hand. There you go. Oh, and he vanished. Well, Well, I'll come back in a second, I guess. Come here. Come on. Get this one. Come on, get it. Get it. Get it, monkey. Come on, get it. Get it. I'm gonna eat it. Nom 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 nom. You gonna get it? There you go. Okay. It's not a successful Charity Tuesday show with a guest on unless we have nothing but technical difficulties. Harkening back to when we had Laser Haas on here talking about e-toys last year, and it took like an hour to get any sound or anything to work. But okay, here we go. All right. Are you in? Hello? All right. Audio's connected. Sweet.
There we go.
All right.
Sorry, my mixer was all messed up. I'm always switching around stuff on this computer here.
Hey,
alrighty.
I was telling everyone it's not a successful Charity Tuesday unless nothing but technical difficulties happen. This is
exactly.
the bane of my existence. I already double introed everybody by accident right off the bat, so here we go. Welcome. I'm glad your internet's back working again.
Yeah, that's classic timing.
Yeah. Happens plenty out here. My internet is garbage, and if it just happens to be like a roommate is home playing video games, all of a sudden I become like Max Headroom, and weird spectacular pixels start flying across my screen for everybody.
Well, if anybody has Charter, they know how much that company goes down.
Yeah.
You saw my phone conversation with them. They sent me the same thing like 4 straight days in a row. Just so you know, dude, I got a cold, so if I sound weird to everybody, that's why.
Okay. We can forgive you for that. But yeah, so I guess a few things we wanted to cover. Right off the bat, you've been sort of like the go-to guy for ISDA information. So the big thing was, they've done these phases, and they just did phase 6 back in September, which was requiring certain amounts of collateral to do derivatives trades, depending on how much volume in derivatives you trade in a year, right?
Yes, but also the biggest thing about that is it also now makes a third party watch these derivatives contracts. So before it was just the banks who are the regulators. Mm-hmm. So they were the ones writing the contracts, and that's why it was getting so out of control. You saw right as phase 6 hit, 80 trillion in debt was found right away by all of these people. And then last week, I don't know if you saw, I posted, China's already like, the rest of the world's starting to see all this. And China's like, look what they're doing. They were attacking us, showing everybody that we're destroying the world financially. Now they're getting that data. So I'm pretty excited to see what phase 6 has down the road here. It's just getting started.
Yeah, because I can't remember the exact numbers, but like phase 1 was something like if you were over $1 trillion, you had to put up this extra collateral. So this was like the mega banks and central banks and groups like that. And then it worked its way down. And the most recent one, phase 6, was 50 billion. Was that right?
Yeah.
So if you're doing 50 billion in trades a year, you had to put up this extra collateral to be able to do derivatives market, which means your swaps, your options, your all these weird little securities gimmicks and things that these funds will do. What's incredible is that 50 billion is still above what a family fund like Archegos would have had to undertake to follow this. So like they would have possibly made it under the radar. And they're just one family fund.
Exactly. That's one of the things. Like when I first started getting into this, people don't even understand how big these family offices are and how under the radar these guys are flying and how much they can control. And it's like these guys have nobody watching them, and it's always people that have made these family offices. It's always people that had so many violations in the stock market. Yeah, they're like either to get out of this and stop getting regulated, which is exactly what they do, or they're going to end up getting shut down.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's 7,000 family offices, something like that.
Yeah, and just to show you how big family offices are, hedge funds control 3.6 trillion. Yeah. Family offices control 7.4 trillion. So basically double. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and these folks in these family offices, like Ryan Cohen Adventures is a family office. Uh, uh, you know, Bill Gates invests
The
through
Mets
his family
owner with
office.
Cohen,
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah,
And we all know how corrupt that guy is. So
yep,
who knows what he's doing? He just opened another one up in UK, I believe.
yeah. So pretty much anyone who probably has 50 million or more in the bank has probably set up a family office.
Yeah,
Some of those
it's all
folks just kind of hand it over to a hedge fund and let them deal with it. But for the most part, these family offices can do lots of trades. It allows them to have all sorts of tax breaks, and they can get incredible amounts of margin, just insane amounts of margin to make plays. Because they're
not only that, what's really crazy about family offices too is workers that work for them. If like the family office wants to, they can file exemptions for workers.
yeah,
And then they get to be able to operate under that family office as well.
yep. So you hire a secretary, well, they can invest with your family office and get to play with the 30-1 margin and everything else that you can sign up with. It's absolutely crazy. And this ISDA stuff. What reading about it, it looks like they're able to tag collateral so it can't be used a second time, which is what it appears that Archegos was doing. Was that they're using the same 800 million at 5 different banks to get margin.
Yeah, exactly. So the problem with what was going on before and with Archegos is they were able to use what is called a credit support annex. And when you made that, you just showed you had collateral. You actually didn't deposit anything. You just showed you could afford the trade.
Yeah.
And what he was doing he was opening up each one of these banks, but he was using the total return swaps attached to them, just like FX or FTX. Sorry, he's using the total return swaps to show the other bank as collateral.
Yeah.
So he didn't have the stock, but he was showing the total return swaps as the underlying stock. And so he kept opening that up with new banks, and they just kept on showing that he had total return swaps collateral. So then he just kept putting it up as stock, and eventually it came out because, I mean, you can't get when Phase 6 started. One of the things that they did is these contracts were grandfathered in, and this is why I was telling everybody just wait on these Phase 6. Don't expect anything right away. 5 days before Phase 6 happened, Citadel opened up 8 ISDA contracts, and I showed everybody. They opened up 8 for a reason because that gives them an extra year of all the stuff grandfathered in.
Yeah,
it might have been 2 years, who knows? But that's what these guys did. They went out and they extended their contracts right before this happened. Now, most of the time, contracts run on 3, 6, 9, and 12 on renewals. So on the 3-month, you started seeing, cost to borrow actually skyrocketed. A lot of people said it was the FTX, but I was showing everybody, no, it's ISDA, man. Yeah. They can't go out there and just keep on getting this collateral, keep getting these shares, finding these things. So they're not able to find them like they were able to before.
Yeah.
And then when the 6-month hits, that's going to be a whole bunch more people now having to renew contracts.
That's March?
It'd be 6 months after September 1st. Okay. Yeah, it'd be March. So I had 5 weeks. Yeah. So when that happens, you're going to have to see a whole bunch of more people need to now deposit collateral on contracts they didn't have to before. And on top of that, people that were doing these hidden things with flex options, married puts, buy rights, they were able to hide these things and reset reg show FTDs. Yeah. Those are now going to be seen by a third party and will come into light. And then you're going to see more of these people like, hey, 80 trillion of this hidden debt's going to become 130 trillion. And eventually you're going to have to answer to people because now the whole world's going to see it. Yeah. And what happens when it's 9 months, 12 months, and it's 200 trillion?
Yeah. And if you've got like $7 trillion of, hedge funds and $7 trillion of family funds, but they're all carrying $130 trillion in debt, right? based on that collateral, like, how are you going to recoup that? Especially if we're still flirting with not raising the debt ceiling, and so in bonds already having like the worst year since 1780.
Oh yeah.
Like how is the system going to rectify any of this when we realize just how stacked debt is on top of debt for every single one of these like highfalutin funds?
Exactly. And I mean, they were able to get away with this for so long because in ISDA, they were the regulators. So the regulators were just like, let me write the contract. So they were never going to be like, we're over leveraged. They just kept on going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look at these banks, man. They're at like 53 trillion in derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
Think how insane that is.
Yeah.
It's because they were the ones writing them and regulating them.
And
They allowed everything.
And we still have like unclosed derivatives left over from 08, 09. We can still see like, you know, mortgage-backed securities from Lehman Brothers and Washington Mutual trading around. It's like,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I mean, they've been hiding this stuff back there for so long. And that's the thing, when more of these family offices come out too, you're gonna start seeing more and more and more of these Archegos situations that we don't know that, they've been using these total return swaps for collateral for how long, just
yeah,
with these credit support annexes.
yeah, yeah, and we all know like uh, the liquidation, the margin call and liquidation, subsequent liquidation of Archegos is basically what's burying Credit Suisse right now. Like they are stuck with billions that they can't close, and it's just compounding. And now the Swiss central bank is like spending hundreds of billions of dollars trying to keep their banking system afloat. UBS may be tied into these problems as well. So like the two big banks in Switzerland are like bleeding, and these are the established banks that if you think of banking, you think of Switzerland. Like that's their entire economy.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's what I've been telling everybody, to stop worrying about the United States so much, because you're going to see it happen over there first. I literally talked about those two specific banks for about a year now.
Yeah,
it's going to happen over there, and it's going to ripple on over. Like you said, that's their entire economy. So when this starts getting exposed, dude, you're gonna see a lot of these countries get really screwed up here.
Oh yeah, I mean, so here in the United States, because we have a global currency and we've got a huge population, and our money can be used anywhere in the world, we can print at a higher rate than other nations can and have it not affect inflation as high. But a little country like Switzerland with 5 million people, but they're doing banking for hundreds of thousands of people around the world in their little country. Their central bank can't print a whole bunch of Swiss francs and not worry about runaway inflation. So if they have to print their way out of this and to save their banks, they're screwed as a country.
Oh, I agree. And I mean, and this is the thing. That's why everybody sits there and like, no, these guys aren't going to hold us responsible. These other countries, when these contracts, these derivatives keep coming out through phase 6. Well, another thing I'll get into the other thing here in a second. Yeah. But when these keep coming out, they're going to hold us responsible because, like you just said, we're destroying their economies.
Yeah.
They're not going to just let us go and be like, just give us a little payoff. They're going to go like, fuck you. You owe us $1 trillion.
Exactly.
Fix our economy. They're not just going to let it slide.
Yeah. And we sort of made it so that they have to buy our bonds to be able to have like the collateral to make any of these trades or borrowing or anything else. And so we're seeing what's happening in Japan right now. That Japan had $1 trillion in our bonds, and they're battling, like they had stagnation and now they've got inflation happening, and they're realizing they've got to print more money to keep money
to buy their own bonds.
Yeah, and then they're buying their own bonds.
Their own bond. It's like they're screwed, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. They're literally printing money to buy their own debt with it.
Yeah, it's a complete
insane.
It's like I go and I get my Capital One card and I use it to pay off my Venture card or whatever, and I use my American Express card to pay off my Capital One card, and then I use it's crazy. I was watching this video. It's like a compilation of videos from TikTok where these like scammers are forming LLCs, and then in the first 60 days when you form an LLC, apparently you can go to a bank and get like a $50,000 loan with no collateral for your business.
So that sounds about right.
And so they spend a day going to like a dozen different banks, collecting their $50,000 at each one of these banks, because the system doesn't update fast enough. And they've got themselves, a few $100,000, and they just dissolve the LLC and do it all over again.
Sounds about right, man. If you find out how to scam the system we see in the stock market, it's that easy.
Absolutely, just like that. That's what I see this family funds doing, is that they have whatever wealth is their collateral, whether they made money off of creating a company that makes metal water containers or whatever, and then they get their little fortune, and then they buy their bonds, buy their blue chips, and they go to a bank and they say, hey, I've got a family fund, I would like to make some plays, may I have some margin please? And the bank just signs it over to them, and all of a sudden these dudes who their expertise might not be trading. Their expertise it might be that they inherited a company from their dad, right? And they're all of a sudden making plays with billions of dollars, just billions upon billions. I mean, if you've got a $1 billion family fund, you can make $30 billion in trades off of that $1 billion. It just seems completely irresponsible. Like we're gonna get what we deserve out of this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And, well, on top of it, the problem is you got these companies that are just they're bigger than these empires now at this point. If they want your product, I mean, competition's gone in the market. If they want your product, if you create something that can kill their business, they're going to just take your patents. Yeah. They're going to short and distort your company, destroy it media-wise, and come over to you, predatory lend you, convertible notes. They're going to call every lender possible. Do not do business with them, or else we will never do business with you again. Yeah. The only people you can keep going back to them, and they'll keep on, giving you money, convertible notes, and then they'll steal your patent, and that's it. Now these corporations, they really truly have no competition. Now they have what is called, dark money reached $1.3 billion. So they're giving them the politicians their control. And now the politicians are like, now guess what? We got you guys on blackmail. So now they're Doge, all these people. Don't go get them, because if you go get them, then you're going to expose 100% of our politicians. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The nature of the monopolies and what are called also monopsonies, which are when you only have a couple of buyers for something, is astounding. Like we're basically moving to the point where we've got 2 grocery stores in the entire United States of America. We'll have the Safeway, Albertsons, Kroger's, and then we'll have Walmart. And combining that with the fact that there's like 3 meat producers in the whole country that do like meat and dairy, and so Walmart can say, all right, dairy guy, you're gonna sell me a gallon of milk for 87 cents a gallon. The dairy company's like, but I can't. It cost me 92 cents a gallon to make this milk. And the dairy company and Walmart says, well, you'll get nothing if I don't buy it from you because I'm the only buyer. The dairy company goes, oh crap, and so they start selling at 87 cents a gallon, losing 5 cents on every single solitary gallon of milk that goes out, and then they go bankrupt. And who buys them? Well, probably Walmart, right?
Yep, on pennies on the dollar. What do you know?
Yeah, they did the same thing with lots of, I think it was Home Depot and DeWalt Tools. So Home Depot signed an exclusive agreement with DeWalt Tools to they're the only ones that can buy DeWalt, and DeWalt couldn't sell to anyone else. And then they changed the agreement and started purchasing the tools for below the cost of manufacturing them. And then DeWalt went under, and who bought DeWalt and all their patents and all their designs and their trademark and everything? Home Depot. So
that's what I'm saying. There's no longer a reason for these guys to buy your company. Yeah. They can make money doing it this other way and then steal it from you. No one's going to do anything about it, and then they just own your shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can be the lucky person, like the 16 employees at Instagram when they sold for over $1 billion to Facebook, right? They're like, we're retired. And if they had waited longer, they probably would have been attacked from every single side by Facebook nefariously, and they would have got nothing for it.
Exactly. It's like if you ever get that first offer, you got to just take it or else. Yep. And it's like I said, these guys have so much power. They're above the law that they run our politicians. Did you see, speaking of Facebook, did you see that in the last election, they borrowed 200 million plus from Mark Zuckerberg?
Oh, really? Because I just saw a thing maybe 2 hours ago that they're expecting to report a 43% revenue drop tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the government borrowed it because they didn't have enough money all these states didn't have enough money to pay the people at the polling stations. Yeah. So they had to borrow it from billionaires. Well, what do you think? They ended up getting favors? Of course they got favors in the back end for that. It's just insane. It's like our own government at this point is controlled by these corporations. What I feel like we're at this point where it's called a corporate republic. Yeah. It's all about the mighty corporations. Mm-hmm. And in the end of the day, they control the entire country. And everybody really, in the end of the day, works for them, just like how you said.
Yeah, South Korea is the perfect example that there's 5 companies in South Korea.
Yep, exactly.
Like your Samsung, Hyundai, I don't know the other ones, but and even then they gobbled each other up. Like Hyundai and Kia just got gobbled up 10 years ago and became part of the Hyundai empire. And they if you have a job and it's not like a family restaurant, you work for one of those five companies. And post-war Japan had a big consolidation like that. You had your Panasonic, Hitachi, Toyota, Mitsubishi, but even now they've this aging, stagnating economy that these companies are like, oh crap, what do we do now? Because we've made everybody so utterly reliant upon our companies, and now there's not enough of them to work for us anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing. These guys, they're all these rich, super rich, are all so stupid. And they all say the same thing. I'd rather not have cash. I'd rather have credit. Well, if you guys are all relying on credit, everyone's on credit. Everything's, none of these guys have actual assets, this money. And then their base thing is their main thing is for collaterals, their companies. Well, guess what? None of us now have money. None of us are spending money at your companies now because we can't.
Yeah.
So now all your collateral's going down. You're down because your companies are going down. Look at every bank, all these mortgage units. Wells Fargo just got rid of it completely. Think of all these departments that are going down, mass layoffs across tech companies.
Yeah, in the last year at Wells Fargo, they got rid of all of their consumer credit cards except one. They got rid of their personal loans division. They got rid of their mortgage division, and I think they got rid of their auto loans as well. So if you're a bank and you can't offer loans, what do you do?
Oh, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And then these guys have trillions in derivatives. And it's the thing is most of these guys, like most people don't understand what's going on with the feds other than just not even the repos. So the feds and BlackRock, why BlackRock took that massive hit as well.
Yeah. 1.7 trillion. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was these banks, like I said, they're all over leveraged like crazy. And all of these houses were going to default. Mm-hmm. So the government went over. Now the feds own 2.7 trillion in mortgage-backed securities. The feds own more mortgage-backed securities than anybody.
Yeah.
That should never happen. So they did that to bail out these banks. So because all these defaults would have happened and they couldn't afford all of that.
Yep.
Well, then on top of that, they go, crap, we can only buy so many. Hey, BlackRock, can you go start buying these? Well, BlackRock went out and started bailing these banks out with cash.
Yeah.
Bought these houses with cash. Well, guess what? The bubble happened. Yeah. And then guess what happened? The housing, now you look across the board, houses are going down. Yep. Rates are going up. Well, if the rates keep going up, they're going to keep going down. And BlackRock, their assets are going to keep going down and layoffs. And all these guys that they thought, oh, man, these guys are so powerful, have so much, they can bail us out forever. Nope, not when we have no money to continuously bail out those companies.
Yeah. The
companies still need to survive, and they're not. So that's why I'm saying eventually the government and all these people got to look at it and go, either we need these CBDCs so we can keep the illusion going.
Yep.
Or we need a MOAS to basically give our middle class that money. And guess what? They'll go back to them anyways because that's how the whole system's set up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy to think about. Like, the Fed since June or July has been talking about quantitative tightening. We've got this 8 point whatever trillion dollars of securities been buying up, trying to keep the market afloat. But we're gonna start dumping some of this. And they did a little bit. They had this plan. They're gonna do like 40 billion a month. Let's go to 90 billion a month, and let's go to like 100 something billion a month. And I don't think they've ever crossed like 13 billion a month so far in dumping any securities. And then they jump right back in and buy up more. We see these weird days where, no good news comes out. Like, this summer when inflation reports, the CPIs are coming out and they were terrible. And, the job growth is kind of stagnating. And we're getting this news that homes weren't being sold. And the SPY should have fallen off a cliff. And instead, it kind of just hung out and did just fine.
Yeah, we call that the plunge protection team for that one.
Yeah. And this $8 trillion of securities that are sitting in the Fed's balance sheets are not being dumped. But when they do get dumped, my guess is the $8 trillion will be worth maybe $4-5 trillion in the end. Because
exactly.
Once they start selling, the value of it disappears.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's like you said, man, I don't understand how this can keep going on. Like these guys are stealing at such a rate that it's like you can't hide it forever. The inflation, and then like you said, nobody has money at this point to where you can't keep the charade going. We're gonna eventually wake up and be like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah, and my one hope out of all of it is that in the post-mortem, when the Congress has their committees and they're all trying to point fingers and make the blame, is that they go, oh, wait a minute, maybe we should not allow naked shorting. We should limit the ability to swap bad debt. Perhaps the solution will be, oh, we'll shore up some of these laws. I don't think they'll ever last because, after the Great Depression, we made all these rules that the banks weren't allowed to use your money to play the markets. Then we stripped them all those rules, and then we had the crash in 08, 09. But, at least for a little while, there'll be like a window where we can be like, oh, wow, this system can actually work now.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen, man, for a little bit there. I just don't see it, man. Other than the fact if they get their CBDCs in because they want CBDCs for us, wholesale CBDCs for them. The wholesale CBDCs will go ahead and keep their bullshit going for a little longer. It's just like I said, man, it's crazy what's going on around us at this point. I just don't get how they can continuously do anything. They can't keep printing mass amounts of money. Inflation will just keep going crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like the feds are stuck. What are they going to do? Keep raising rates? Well, again, nobody's going to go out and keep taking mortgage loans. You see, the mortgage loans are like lowest ever for new houses. No one's taking them.
Yeah, no one can buy cars, and
they're now getting car repos are skyrocketing. Speaking of that,
they were bad this summer, and it was like 18,000 a day were being repoed this summer, and now it's probably 2 or 3 times that.
Yeah, it's insane, and it's like if you looked at a new car average to get them the loan, it's $700 a month.
Yeah,
for a car.
15% are over $1,000 a month.
Yeah, who can afford that? That's half a house.
Yeah,
that is a house in some places.
15 years ago, $1,000 a month was getting you like a Lamborghini.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're getting that. You're getting mom and pop van or a truck for that,
and now you get like a Jeep Cherokee. Cool.
It's insane, and it's like eventually they can't keep doing this. And the only reason this is happening is because they're allowed to always steal. It's always on credit. They're allowed to steal.
Yep.
If you look at the United States, where's all of our debt? And this is the craziest thing about it all. Where's all the debt to? Us.
Yeah.
It's the pensions, our insurance. When you're older, your retirement. Think when we're older, we're going to go there and think we got this retirement, Social Security. Well, that'll be gone. Ain't going to be there when you need it. Your insurance company, when they're not going to have the money to do your giant operations when you're older, because guess what? That's already gone. It's borrowed off into the United States Treasury. And then what do they always say? We don't need to pay them back. Of course, you don't need to pay us back. You're in no rush to pay that $22 trillion back to the public. Of course, you're not. It's just crazy, man.
I mean, a lot of people don't realize that our Social Security, what they do with Social Security is you give money to the government, and the government takes that money and buys the government's debt with it. So Social Security is our federal bonds and some municipal bonds, things like that. And here we are, we're flirting with the debt ceiling. Like we're already at the point where we don't have the money at the moment to pay our interest towards our debt. So we're like taking money from really weird locations, from like the Parks Fund and whatever, to continue to pay the interest on this debt. And the interest on the debt screamed because we've had to raise interest rates to keep inflation from happening. So we're paying like 2.5 times the money towards interest as we did a year ago. And we've got maybe until June, probably sooner than that, before we run out of the schemes of like taking money from other areas where this money is allocated to pay this debt. And if we don't raise the debt ceiling, then your Social Security is gone.
Yeah,
because the government won't be able to pay itself for the money it borrowed from itself, and it's just gone.
And on top of that, you're still paying all that interest, so it's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I keep saying to everybody, it's like so many people are so red or blue, and they're so about, oh man, that's all I care about. It's like, guys, look at who actually cares and is trying to help us, because these politicians, 1.3 billion in dark money pays a lot of pockets and gets a lot of laws into place.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've been researching, trying to figure out how to use, like, fight fire with fire type thing, or maybe more of a judo analogy. But I want to create like a retail investor protection association, where we try to get a Retail Investor Protection Act passed by Congress that limits things like dark pools, naked shorting, swaps, high frequency trading. So like you can't trade the same share a million times in a couple nanoseconds. Like whenever you buy a share, you're stuck with it for 5 or 10 minutes, things like that. And to even the playing field. But the only way it would work is if we can donate to campaigns and have lobbyists and do the things that all these big investment firms do, but on, play on their level somehow. And
but the only thing is you might be paying a lot of money trying to get in there, but they're going to be paying twice as much as you are.
Exactly, like
5 times as much as you are.
Yeah. So what else can we do? I mean, like we're the workers. We don't have the ability to hop on our planes and fly to DC and march in huge numbers. There's a
what you do?
Tried this weekend and 80 people showed up.
No, you know what you do?
Yeah.
You actually push bank runs.
Yep. Hey.
That's it. That's it, man. Yeah. It's that simple. If everybody in the United States wants this shit fixed, you crash the fucking banks. Yep. It's that simple. Everyone pull all your money out, go to a credit union, get your loans over there, pay your credit cards off, anything that involves an ISDA related bank. Because think about it. There's $80 trillion already exposed from these guys.
Yeah.
Their collateral is us.
Yeah. Take
it out of their bank, take it out of their system, take their collateral away. Now they're now the rest of the world's margining them.
Yeah.
Now China's like, hey, and now you destroyed the system that is broken.
Yeah, part of China's problem is that there's bank runs happening on all their banks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bank runs are the answer for all of this because who's the problem? It's always the banks. JPMorgan is the biggest criminal organization in the world. They literally have gotten caught.
Jamie Dimon's evil.
Oh my God, they've gotten caught with 20 tons of coke on a shipment up there. I mean, think about it. And then right after they get caught working with cartel, laundering money for cartel. Yep. So they're probably the biggest drug lords out there. 3 or 4 of their people got caught on Epstein's Island and for their executives and all of these documents and the Pandora Papers.
Yep.
They just stepped down before the name all the stuff got released.
Yep.
So they're out there doing nasty, that pedophile gross shit. Like I said, they're the worst people ever. They have the most fines ever out of all the banks. On top of that, they're at 53 trillion. They're the highest in the derivatives.
Yep.
You crash JPMorgan, you bring everything down.
And JPMorgan's been pulling back, removing themselves from the DTCC, and all their subsidiaries making their own clearinghouse because I think they see the writing on the wall, and they're like, "Oh, like it's bad enough where we are."
That's what, like I said, these banks. I mean, that's the thing we can do. It's the biggest way you make the wheel stop turning. It only turns with cash. Yeah. Take your cash out of them, get rid of their collateral, and let everyone else margin them. Yeah. And that's why I keep saying phase 6 is the answer because we're going to keep trying to pull the criminality because all our politicians, our regulators, our cops, everything. I mean, I'm not going to say cops, but like the Doge, obviously, SEC, regulators, FINRA, they're all in it together. Yeah. They're going to keep it going, but the rest of the world's going to hold them accountable when $200 trillion is destroyed their entire economy. They're like, no.
Yeah. So for those who don't know the recent history backstory of JPMorgan Chase. So you had Chase Bank, which was headed by Jamie Dimon. And when JPMorgan was faltering after the collapse of Lehman, after the collapse of Bear Stearns, JPMorgan was about to go down next. And Chase Bank stepped in, bought him up for a song. We're talking like a I don't know, maybe a penny on the dollar type deal. Picked up JPMorgan. I was like, oh yeah, well, we'll take all this. And then, I don't know, 3 weeks later, Washington Mutual gets seized by the FDIC. Washington Mutual at the time was the largest savings and loan in the world. They controlled like $800 billion in assets or something ridiculous like that. And which, the banks now are so much bigger. But they got seized by FDIC, and overnight, without any bidding being done, they sold all the holdings of Washington Mutual to JPMorgan Chase for like a third of a penny on the dollar. For like $1 billion, they picked up $800 billion in assets. And managed to like say, but we don't want any of the mortgage-backed securities. You guys can keep those. And the FDIC was like, totally. And now,
there was no backdoor deals there. Nobody else,
yeah,
it's pure corruption. That's why it's like, man, these banks, all this stuff, they're so intertwined, but you can't hide trillions and trillions from everybody else when you destroy their economy.
Yep. And the deal for JPMorgan was done. Oh, sorry, yeah, the deal for JPMorgan was done, if I remember correctly, without JPMorgan ever being invited. So there was like this meeting between the SEC, the Fed, and these banks, and they basically didn't invite JPMorgan. And they're like, "So what are we gonna do about this?" And and Chase was like, "We'll buy them. Done."
Insane, dude.
Yeah. Absolutely bonkers. And something similar happened with Bear Stearns too, when they let him go under. They had another meeting with everybody, and everyone's like, "Well, we'll just sacrifice Bear Stearns. Good enough for me." Well, we're inviting Bear Stearns to the meeting. So if you are a banker and you find out there's a meeting you were invited to, that means you're next. So
yeah, pretty much.
All right, I'm gonna do some quick thank yous first for donors, and to remind everybody. So we're at $665. We're 66.5% of the way to our goal, raising money for the Guide Dog Foundation, which is one of the leaders in training and guide dogs and service dogs, get them to people who are blind, handicapped, have sensory issues. They're a fantastic charity. They provide lots of good boys and good girls for folks who need the help. And I want to thank everybody who's been donating so far. The most recent we had, where are we? Sorry, I've got to scroll. I think we have Carlos Cruz. Thank you, Carlos. Doc Breezy donated, got another anonymous donation. We have Logic Dustbin. Thank you so much. And Tyler Connor donated as well. So now we're at 670. We're 67% of the way. We are 2/3 of the way to our $1,000 goal. And Drew Dizzy, there we go. I get the reminders out there, and you folks start pulling up cash to help some blind folks get some puppy dogs. Thank you so much, everyone, for jumping in there.
Yeah, hold on, my friend. I'm gonna get us there. What do we need? 260.
We just jumped to 740. We're getting there. Fantastic. You guys are awesome. This is so. I don't know, Biggums, if you're familiar. So every last Tuesday of the month, we do a Charity Tuesday, and in the how many months has been? What, 20 months now? 19 months? I think if this gets to over 1,000, I think we'll be at $39,000 raised in those 20 months for different charities. Yeah, it's like the best show of the month. We've raised money for cancer charities, for children who are victims of domestic violence, for Parkinson's, for MS, for Toys for Tots, for victims of like the Tonga volcano or the hurricanes in Puerto Rico, flood victims in Kentucky. The shows have just been fantastic, and I want to thank everybody who is able to like just give on these days. Some months are a little more lean than others, depending on what the market's doing. But our Christmas one was just fantastic. It was helped by the fact my sister made a goofy calendar of me that I was able to raffle off with all the donations. But
hey, give me a second. I'm gonna go grab my wallet quick. I'm gonna give it to the pups. Gotta give it to the pups, man.
All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. Oh, and an anonymous just threw us almost over the top there. 990. We're 99% of the way to our $1,000 goal. And granted, we did get started an hour late today. That was such is life. Sometimes the internet goes down, and we're stuck trying to do smoke signals and contact each other. Thank you, Anonymous. That was fantastic. We just went screaming right there. Wait for Biggums. Biggums is gonna, I think, throw a couple of bucks in here as well for the guide dogs. Where's my guide dog? Monkey butt. Monkey. Get up here. Come on. People are donating to dogs. You're a dog. Right. You have eyeballs.
I'm back, my friend. It's like Murphy just joined me as well.
While you walked away, someone just threw $250 in there.
Damn.
Yeah. Come on.
Thank you. That's awesome, man.
Get the monkey butt up in there so she can say hello to everybody. And see this, you could have a dog who's nice like this.
All right.
Get trained to actually do good works, right, monkey? Rather than just sleep all day.
There. Just gave 150.
Woo!
We passed her. We go.
There you go. Thank you, Biggums. Thank you. We're over the goal, and now it's just icing on the cake. Anyone who wants to get in here. And remember, and a reminder, if you're watching the show, the recorded version later, the donation button will still be somewhere below or to the side of the screen, and you have the opportunity to donate in perpetuity. If you've come across this video 1,000 years from now and YouTube still exists, you'll be able to hit that donate button. All the commercials, when you log in, all the commercials will pop up. Every penny from each commercial goes to the foundation as well. So it's a cool little system. I'm glad I discovered it when I was setting up a show one day. I was like, oh, I can do a charity. Kick ass. Yeah.
He always loves the bark, but apparently now he doesn't want to. He's got my sock in his mouth and he's taking off. He just wants to play. Yep. Classic.
Okay. So we touched the pending apocalypse. We touched on the ISDA. And the big one everyone wants to talk about is the upcoming vote for AMC. I wouldn't say that like you and I are diametrically opposed, but I would say that I'm upset with Adam Aaron for keep selling to hedge funds, and it just pisses me off that he's not doing these offerings to the public when he does it.
I'm glad we're about to talk about this, my friend. I mean, you had me thinking that one day, and your video, your little clip. It's why I wanted to do this video with you, because you had the complete opposite view as I do. Yeah. So I'm glad to talk about this one.
Okay, paint me your picture.
All right, so hold on, buddy. Murphy, let me get this dog out of here real quick. He's gonna keep throwing stuff in my lap, and then I'm gonna hey, my buddy. Let's go in here for a little bit. All right. So now I agree with you. I was insanely mad about it for a long time. I was like, why the fuck would he give that to Pantera? It makes no sense in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And then these came out, and the only sense I can make out of it is he ended up wanting, or he gave him these shares at that price because he wanted to get the yes vote for this conversion and this reverse split. And he knew, all right, I need to do one more deal with the devil basically to get what I need to get to be where I need to be. The reason I think he has done this with these hedge funds and these lenders, it's always lenders. You notice that?
Yeah.
It's always the lenders. So this is why I think it's so imperative for AMC to finally get out of this debt, get away from these predatory lenders. They have so much leverage on them. They have billions of dollars of leverage on them.
Yeah.
So I can see these guys coming over at him, or at Adam Aaron, and I get it. Like, I wish he would sell it to us, start doing all this, getting rid of, he should have sold that ape to us. He could have raised a lot more money, and I can't back that.
Yeah.
I agree. He should have. That was so stupid. I bashed him about that too. But the only reason I can logically see is these guys have this leverage on them in the back end, and they're holding them technically kind of hostage, not being able to do that.
Yeah. So some of the loan agreements, I think you had posted them, kind of describing like limiting what AMC is allowed to do business wise.
Yeah. And that was the only thing I could see was those agreements were limiting them. And Adam and Aaron was like, all right. And on top of that, they were his lender. They had the leverage. So he had to play ball for a little bit. Now, the reason I am for this vote is a lot of people, well, I'll just go into this other part first. So I believe we need to get rid of this debt. It's the number one, everybody knocks AMC instantly. Debt. Why would you do a 10-to-1 split? The only reason you would do it that way is so you can raise a massive amount right away on the first dilution.
Yep.
And then from that point on, so what I think he wants to do at this point is go, all right, the only logical thing at this point would say, all right, I needed to do this little quick deal with the devil to get that percentage, to get my vote, to get me my shares that I've been asking for forever that retail will not give me.
Yep.
So the way a company, the main way they obviously raise capital is revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Bonds. Well, bonds are not an option.
Yep.
And obviously offerings. So he was kind of felt limited at that point. So he felt he needed to get obviously Ape got attacked down. And one of the things I was saying right away is they're going to smash Ape. You're going to see all these FTDs right away. all the shorts are going to go after Ape. They're going to stop going after AMC. They're going to crush Ape. They're going to crush Ape down as hard as they can.
Went down to what, like 67 cents or something was its lowest?
Yeah, like because if I'm a short, I'm not worrying about at that point. I'm not worrying about AMC, the company.
Yeah.
I'm worrying about the way that they can raise capital and get out of that debt. So I'm going to worry about Ape. And they attacked Ape, and right away, there's that 43 million FTDs right away. The short interest was super high on Ape right away. It was higher than AMC for a brief period, and then it magically disappeared.
Yeah.
So what I was looking at is, all right, he's looking over going, all right, we need to switch this back. We need to do the 10-1. And then when we dilute right away, you'll be at $50, $60. You can raise billions.
Yeah.
You can pay off the debt. And at that rate, if he has billions of dollars and he goes to these banks, he's going to get a massive discount. Let's be real. He's going to get a big chunk of that off.
Yeah.
So what I think he's going to do is finally go, all right, I had to do the small little last deal with these predatory lenders to be able to get a massive amount of capital. And I think this next one will be to the public because it finally gives him an ability to raise it at $50, $60.
Yeah.
He lowered the float down. And now for new investors, now brand new people, they're looking over and they're going, hey, here's a float of 250 million. Or I'm not going to say 250 million. I'm sorry. I wrote down 250 million because it's 114 and I think he's going, it's 144 million after everything. And I think he's going to dilute 105 to make it 250 million.
Yeah, because that'd be about $5 billion if he did another 100 million.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I think he'll do. And he'll get about 5.5 after paying, like the banks for the fees and all that.
Yeah. And
then he'll have about 5.5. He'll take about 3 billion, pay down the debt to them. He'll probably pay off about 3.5, 3.6. So he'll have about 1.4, but it'll be so stretched out. It's not a big deal at that point.
Yeah.
They'll be, they got their credit card coming out. They got popcorn coming out this year.
Yep.
They've got new revenue streams coming. So at that point, he doesn't need to pay the whole debt off in one instant.
Yeah.
But if you're a new investor, you're looking over and you go, hey, this company only has, 1.4 billion. That's easily manageable. They got new revenue coming in. They just did that deal with Saudi Arabia. A lot of people are mad about it, but I don't think they understand what the deal was.
Or the licensing deal. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So they put a 10 million investment into this company. They gave him a 10% stake. It was going to be in 50 theaters for 7.
Yeah.
Plus they were going to get the licensing fee for using their brand.
Yeah.
So he ended up basically selling them the 10%. So they're going to go out there and train them, but they still get the licensing fee for all of those theaters. So technically it's free revenue.
Yeah.
Plus he made a $10 million investment and turned it into 30. So he made $20 million and still gets licensing.
Yeah.
It's not the worst deal in the world. Everyone wants to make it paint it out like it was the worst thing ever. But back to the vote here. So at that point, he'll have a couple $1 billion in the bank. He'll have more money in the bank if he did 105 million. He'll have about 2.2, 2.4 billion. That's more than the company's ever had.
Yeah.
Now he'll go ahead and now you have all these theaters struggling more than ever. He'll be able to buy a whole bunch of theaters, pennies on the dollar.
He'll be able to pick up Regal and those things for pennies. Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar. And then he'll be able to close a whole bunch of underperforming theaters. And in the end of the day, they're a movie theater chain. Yeah. We need that to happen. Everybody's so mad about that. How do movie theaters be profitable? They have more theaters making money than losing. Mm-hmm. You got to buy the right theaters and you got to close the wrong ones. It's part of that company's business model. Yeah. So people got to stop getting so mad. He shouldn't have done it before when he did because they were kind of strapped. But he had to start kind of getting that cash burn down.
Yeah.
He had to do something, you know what I mean? But so I feel like at that point, by the time credit cards come out, popcorn comes out, everyone's so like, oh man, he'll just dilute. Well, at that point, no CEO is going to look over and go, I need to keep diluting and keep diluting and keep diluting and keep diluting. There's no reason to anymore. Yeah. But what that does is you kicked out these Anteras, these Silver Lake, these Mudricks, these predatory lenders that are controlling everything you can do.
Yeah.
Now you can give out that dividend. Now you can go explore new revenue. Now, if I'm a short in this play, all these people are blowing up about the shorts. If you're a short right now, you're going to just keep going. Why wouldn't you? You're going to keep going until something happens. There's no catalyst. You're like AMC's, they're not cash flow positive. They don't have that much money. Everyone's like, well, I'm not going to. You still you gotta get to the squeeze. You gotta make the squeeze happen. Everybody's so worried about, well, if the squeeze happens and I have a little less shares, I'm not gonna make as much. But if it never happens or the company goes out of business, you're never going to get the squeeze at that point. So you got to worry about that. Everyone wants to sit there and say fundamentals don't matter. They do matter. If fundamentals didn't matter, Antero would have never been involved because AMC would have been debt-free, never had to been involved with them in the first place. Mudrick, Silver Lake. Fundamentals matter in a squeeze play. Now, to get back to the vote and a short squeeze and all this. Now, the reason I think this will help us with the short squeeze. So let's say he does that. He sells 105. He raises 105 million. He raises the billions of dollars. He smashes the debt down. And I'm a short now. He still has 400 million shorts because he has authorized 550 million authorized shares.
Oh, of the apes.
No, after the conversion, he will be able to do another.
Oh, because there's like 5 billion that were authorized sitting in apes, right?
Yes. Yeah. So now he'll have 550 million authorized common.
Yep.
Now let's think about it as a short perspective. He just gave out 105 million, right? He still has a war chest of 440 million of shares of common if he ever needs to raise money.
Yeah.
If you're a short and you're not scared shitless of that, and now he barely has any debt, he's getting closer to cash flow positive. He has new revenue streams coming in. Now you're sitting there going, maybe I do have a reason to get out of this play.
Yeah.
This company can't go debt free. And with that much common stock, he'll never give it out.
Yep.
He'll never give it out. But the fact that it's there, their war chest is that big, I'm not taking on that army. Why the fuck would you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They completely, as a short, you're finally nervous about it. Now, one of the things people are going to go is, well, the short interest goes down. This is the biggest problem with retail investors on this. And I've talked to so many people involved in the short industry. Okay, I'm going to try and explain something that a lot of people get wrong here.
Okay.
A lot of people look at a stock and they go, if it has high short percentage or high short interest, it's got to cover. That means that these guys are in trouble. Yeah. No, think about it this way. You're on a train. You're the first person on the train, okay? It's 10 cars long. Every time you stop, more come on, more come on, more come on. But nobody comes on your car.
Yeah.
All these other cars are getting filled up. There's a whole bunch of people that stop 10. Your car's still empty. So the percentage goes up higher and higher and higher. Do you feel cramped and that you need to get off the train? No, your car is still empty. Yep. And on top of that, the first person that gets involved, the higher the short interest goes. That means they started at the top. The price goes down and down and down, the more the short interest goes in. So they're greener and greener and greener more, the higher the short interest is. Because they got in early, the price stopped. So now they're green. So why would they cover unless they need to?
Yeah.
What you want to do is find high value shorts. So just because AMC's value or the short position or the short percentage is going to go down, the value of those shorts will not go down. What matters is when the shorts get read in a position.
Yeah.
And it's an expensive position to be read in.
Yep.
That's when they start to cover. So a lot of people are complaining, well, the short percentage will go down. That doesn't matter. The value of those shorts stays the same.
Yeah.
Now, it hurts him again because the cost to borrow, yes, right away it'll go down for a little bit. But it's so high on the new positions, the base price will be so high, it's still going to be more expensive to open up new positions. Mm-hmm. And then the cost to borrow will start skyrocketing because that, let's say you did 105 million, that's going to get bought up pretty quick.
Yeah. No, they'll get bought up in 3 days if they do it right. Or they could do it the GME way and just slowly dribble it here and there.
That's what I was hoping you'd use dribble at when it's going up and up and up.
Yeah, because I have a feeling if they announce they do the split, the reverse split, and then 5 days later they're like, well, we finished our offering. Then it's like when they announced the sale of Mudrick, the price just collapsed. Right? People are like, oh no. Because it's the news that causes people to freak out, not the actual act. Mm-hmm. And
exactly,
yeah. Okay, so let me paint my worst case scenario apocalyptic version that I'm worried about.
No, I love it.
So as it stands, offering the 300 million or so shares to the hedge funds that they've done, and he said, okay, they've agreed they won't be able to sell for 90 days because he wants those votes, right? So, but after the split, this gives them 25 to 30% of the company, somewhere in there, like these hedge funds. Now, if he does do an offering and he doesn't do it to retail like we want him to, right? And he does sell it again to these hedge funds, they're going to be sitting at 59 to 70% ownership in the company, which then gives them the opportunity to essentially destroy the company from the inside, classic short attack style, where they say, okay, we have all this ownership, we want our people on the board. And there's nothing you can do about it because we've got all the voting power. And they put their little insiders on the board, and then they start shorting after that. They dump their shares, they start borrowing and selling and borrowing and selling and borrowing and selling, and then they destroy the company from the inside, and we have ourselves Regal 2.0. So that's the big like, if Aaron doesn't sell to retail and he sells to hedge funds, we're doomed.
I mean, if that scenario happens that way,
yeah,
I mean, we would be in a lot of trouble. Yes, I mean, but the reason I think he won't do it this time is because the price would be at a point where he can finally get out from under those guys. And before, even if he did the offerings, he wouldn't have been able to get out from under them, and they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
But at this point, also, you got to realize, let's say that this happens, they would have that percentage, and he dilutes 105 million. That's a big, their percentage of what they own in the company drop. Oh wait, you said.
Yeah, if they sell to retail,
he just gave it right to them.
Yeah, sells right to them, then they control the company.
But why would he? Let's willingly be like, all right, I'm going to go. I mean, at that point, why would he? Baby, come on for a second. Why would he willingly go? I'm going to give it straight to these guys and let them just take over the company, because he knows that would be. You only deal with. Here's the reason I don't think you do that. You only do that and deal with those predatory lenders if you at that point you're still going to owe them money if you still have to deal with them.
Yeah.
The way if he raises it at this amount of money, he no longer needs to deal with them. Mm-hmm. So why would he go over and say, all right, let me give you guys that break now, when he can finally say, I can kick you to the fucking curb.
Yeah. Which I hope. I figure.
But no, I mean, I agree with you. Could, if he could go your way. So I can't argue that, because I can't tell you what he's going to do. I can't, like, I agree with you. If he does that, we're going to be in a lot of problems. But AMC's, that would be paid off.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine him saying, I'm going to take a massive discount, allow these guys to take control when I finally have the opportunity to get out completely from under you. And then if he goes the other route, to retail route, he could get it to where he's cash positive, and then he has that giant war chest where he goes, all right, I could do another offering to retail for 20 million shares and then pay the debt off in full, where it's no big deal. And if he does it the retail way, you would have so much FOMO. Think of the FOMO, dude. If suddenly AMC did that offering of 105 million, paid off billions in debt, they're the number one theater in company. You see them buying all the right theaters, they're getting credit cards, they're getting, I mean, the FOMO coming in, people would know the shorts are still there. New shorts wouldn't want to attack it anymore, because they would look over and go, why would I attack that company? The only people that would short it now at that point are the people stuck. And then I feel like retail could finally overtake those, because it wouldn't be as much as, it would defer retail shorts a little.
Yeah. On the positive side, if he does it the way you're saying, which fingers crossed, I hope, don't fuck me over again.
Well, I agree, man. If he does, I'm done with that. Obviously, I don't know what
with the elimination of the Paramount law, and they're cash positive, and they're sitting on some billions. They have the ability to basically go back to the robber baron era of the studios and open their own studio. They can make their own movies. And they can send them right to their theaters at no cost, because they wouldn't have to have any special deals about pricing and whatnot in cuts for the studio, because you are the studio. That's why everyone's making all these rumors about Disney going in and buying up AMC, which, if I were Disney, it would have been a no-brainer. You could, who cares? Who cares if $5 billion of debt? That's nothing for a company that's worth, $300 billion or whatever.
And I will say one thing though, real quick.
Yeah.
Just because I just came across it before we go away from this point. In the filing, it does talk about a hostile takeover.
Yeah.
Involving all of this, and then how this would prevent it, and how. So I don't think he would write all this in there.
The apes were originally created as a poison pill for a hostile takeover, that they could just flood. It was 2013 or whatever when they created those ape shares, where there weren't apes back then, but they were just these preferred shares. Was a way to just flood the market with shares so that a hostile takeover couldn't happen. And then they use it in a different way. as this.
Yeah, so that little thing right there is the reason why I also think he wouldn't just give it to the hedge funds, because even if they did that, then he could just red pill the fuck out of it too.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he would go over, hey, let me give it to all you guys, pay it under at a discount, then let me have to red pill you and do a whole bunch more when I could just straight give it to retail at this point and get away from you. Now I feel like at this point, logically, with the price it would get to and what would become of the float and how much more attractive it would make it, I feel like at this point there's literally zero reason for him to keep working with these guys. I feel like this last little thing was him going, hey, here's my last little short-term bad handshake just to get to where I need to be in the long
run. Yeah. Okay. All right. You've quelled some of my fears, but like an abuse victim.
But nothing's guaranteed, buddy. No, I agree with you, man. I'm feeling it too. So I mean, nothing's guaranteed.
Like,
so.
I love you, baby. I just get angry sometimes. Like, oh, like once bitten, twice shy.
Please, sir, some more. No, I hear you. I feel like before. I mean, a lot like right away, a lot of people gave him slack because of the Mudrick and Silver Lake, but those were convertible notes. Those weren't technically in his control. He inherited those.
Yeah.
That happened. All that agreement stuff happened before Adam Aaron, but everyone.
Oh yeah, the Silver Lake thing was automatically triggered at $13, and then.
Yeah, so he had no control, but everybody went nuts. He killed it, and it's like no, he had no control on that.
Yeah.
So the first one I give him a pass on. Same with the Mudrick, a little bit, but. Antera, the only thing I could truly logically think of, because he's asked so many times, and imagine if you're a CEO, because this is the way I feel like why he did the Antera thing.
Yeah.
If you're a CEO, because of the three things we went over and you can't raise that capital, the way he's looking at it, like, all right, let me do the deal. Sorry, he keeps throwing his toy in my face. Sorry, go get your toy back. All right.
Glad you're napping, bud.
Yeah, it's like why can't my guy be like yours? He's just hanging out back there, dude. Mine's nuts. He's so young, so he's a little pup. But at that point, it's like the only reason you would do it, and it even says it. I mean, the only reason you would do it, the only reason you would write in the filing is they're all yes and everything too. Is all right. I finally can get what I want, and Tara can make a whole bunch of money on the conversion, and now apes technically can get what they want. Because the short thesis is killed. Like I said, you can finally make shorts scared. Right now, they're not scared of AMC.
And if you go out and you buy a bunch of apes right now, then they convert 1-to-1, the $2 you're spending for an ape becomes a $6 AMC, and then becomes 10 of them becomes a $60 AMC or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a ton of like guys. There's money opportunity right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could. There's a really good way to average, and that's what a lot of people have been asking. If I go ahead right now, and I'm like, yes, it's very smart. If you have a high cost average right now in AMC,
if you want people who bought it $30 or whatever, you're screwed right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you're buying at $30 and you want to get an average down pretty dang good, buy ape at $2, and then when it converts over, that lowers your average price drastically.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that is a smart thing to do, but I can't say do it. That's financial advice. But yes, everyone that wants to know, is that a good way to average down? Buying ape right now is a great way to average down on the conversion.
Yeah, all the AMC I have, I bought between $5 and $8, between like January 2021 and April, sometime around there, and didn't really buy any more after that. And after the Mudrick thing went to 70, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit on what I have, and just sit and wait. But I might go in and I might, drop $1,000 on some apes, get 500 of them, end up with 50 shares or whatever in the end, just to see where it goes.
Yeah, it's like that's the thing. Like that guy just wrote in the chat, we don't have enough money to buy AMC, but do you have enough to buy ape at half the cost?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like a lot of people want to know that's a way to get some money back too on a conversion on your play right now.
Yeah.
You can make some back on the ape conversion by buying that. I mean, I've been buying ape like crazy. I got lucky because I was buying it at 70 cents, 80 cents. I was just telling everyone to keep going. I'm like, guys, when this converts, you're getting a steal.
Yeah.
And here's my point also. Like, so with the hedge fund thing. So with ape, when it was going down to 50, 60 cents, if we all say no and everything, we know he's going to dilute as well through APID. He has no choice until he gets the cash flow positive. They have to make money.
Yeah.
So what that means they're going to do is keep diluting ape. He might have to keep doing these deals with predatory lenders.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't want that to keep happening to the point where, like, that's where you start to get more nervous.
Well, then you're just in the debt spiral at that point. You're just diluting.
Yeah, exactly.
To pay off debt.
Screwed.
Yeah.
And that's why I look at the yes and the no and what it comes from. I'm like, if we say no, we are literally giving them the control. We are giving them that death spiral right away. Also, they're going to go, all right, well, you got to, like we just went over earlier. All right, well, you can't go to anyone else.
Yeah.
We'll give you a waiver on your debt covenant, but you got to keep coming to us. What just happened?
Yeah.
They gave him a waiver on it. So now Adam's got to keep going back to them.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be able to give the ape to us like we want.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, well, maybe this is his way to get out from under these lenders and get out from under this stuff and be able to finally, because AMC right now, they're not going to be able to, at this rate, the way Ape is, they're not going to get out from debt free for a long
time. Yeah. Especially the prices.
This is the way they can get debt free right away.
I mean, if they sold all 5 billion apes at $2, yes, they could get out.
Yeah.
So diluted. Yeah.
Yeah, then we're all scared then. Jesus. Then the squeeze is dead.
Yeah, then it's just a penny stock that, is trading at a fraction of its probably seller pegged or whatever. I'm gonna do some more thank yous for the donors, and then we're gonna go to my last topic of the evening. All right, so Darren Saunders, thank you so much for donating. Broke Ape, thank you. Another anonymous, thank you. SJ, thank you so much, SJ. That was a nice one. And Kid Skid, another anonymous. Okay, then we're at $1,400 towards the Guide Dog Foundation, which is fantastic. We've 40% past our goal. We've blown past it. If anyone else wants to keep donating, please do. The Guide Dog Foundation is a fantastic organization that trains dogs to help them guide the blind, trains service dogs to help those who have disabilities or sensory issues. It's a great charity, getting some good boys and good girls. Monkey Butt would have made a great one, only after she calmed down and became an old lady. But I want to thank everybody who's been donating. You guys are awesome. Making Charity Tuesdays just the best thing in the entire world. And now on to our last topic I wanted to ask you about. I don't know how much you are in the other plays and the other companies that are being hit by the shorts, but the CEO block that has formed amongst these companies that have been shorted, and now they're like banding together, creating almost like, I don't know, a Super Friends or a Justice League or a union of CEOs. What's your opinion on this? Like now, where these CEOs are finally finding their voice and they're not scared to talk about how much they're being shorted. Because before, a lot of these CEOs and executives wouldn't talk about it because it would be seen as manipulation or something. But now they're like, dude, we're being straight up shorted illegally, and we've got proof that they're illegally shorting us. And now they're banding together and like creating these weird lawsuits and fights. So I was wondering, what's your take on all that?
Hold on, let me get you guys dropped this ball under my desk. We gotta have a puppy episode. We're donating the puppy, right?
Okay, yeah.
Go get the ball. Shutting you out again, you're crazy. You don't get one more opportunity. All right. So Roger, I was gonna have an interview with Roger, and we did kind of talk, and I've been watching a lot of his interviews, and I was paying attention to GNS and all that, and I mean, obviously we all know that it's going on. I mean, I'm still kind of skeptical on it a little bit because, like you said, why did they all suddenly come together? Why is it like a super block of these guys getting West Christian, ShareTel, all these things? They're basically going over all the things we wanted them to do. Everybody's jumping on, and they're ignoring all the things that they killed all of our CEOs about.
Yeah.
So let's get to GNS quick. GNS, when this first started, the float was 7. It was what, like 10 million?
Yeah.
It's at 37 or 34 million now from convertible notes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically tripled.
Yeah.
all of their plans, a lot of things I'll talk about, which we don't know if they'll work. A lot of people have tried them. Some work, some haven't, and a lot of things seem to be like down the road, down the road, down the road. A lot of these CEOs, I feel like when I've looked at their things, they've been burned from Wall Street.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have a personal vendetta as well. So maybe that's what's fueling them going, all right, we all got burned personally from it. Should we go after them? Or are they saying, hey, we can ride some retail? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like this is positive marketing. We see our stock price go up for a little bit.
Yeah. Get our name out, get our stock up, because it's like when you look at the companies themselves, they're not making money. You look at the reported shorts; they're not really out there.
Yeah.
And not only that, but so here's the thing. Here's my main thing I want people to understand. So before all this stuff, so a lot of people would look at these stocks, like these pump stocks, real quick.
Yeah.
Suddenly the short volume would be 50, 60, 70% for like the 3 weeks that retail would jump on it or whatever. You know what I mean? And this is also an AMC. They could look over at GME. You could look over the 60, 70% short volume every single day for years. Well, before any of these guys started jumping on, did you guys look at the data before that? Their short data wasn't crazy like that. Now it is, because suddenly retail's jumping on. OTC market's going crazy.
Yeah.
People are buying GNS pennies on the dollar. And every time I see it's the same thing. I look at a lot of the accounts. I'm not saying that, obviously I've made a lot of money. I've been riding this GNS thing because, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to leave free money out there.
Yeah, it was 37 cents a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if I know retail's going to be running at it and playing these off, I'll play off retail too. I'm not going to leave money off there, hate me for it, whatever. Like, I'm not going to sit there. But I don't sit there and tell people trades and all. I don't tell anyone what I ever do, other than with AMC and GameStop. Because those are the two plays in the world right now, I feel like, that are against corruption. And that's all I care about. Is taking these elites down, blowing this stuff up, getting us our short squeeze, the money we're all owed, and then taking us down, dude. And those are the two that I feel can. I don't think these other ones are going to be these like, oh, yeah, everybody sits there and like, oh, man, GNS is going to be the one to expose it and blah, blah, blah. And maybe he is, maybe he's not. But I'm going to play up and down on it because I know it's going to be extremely volatile. But like I said, the float suddenly went up 21 million. Nobody talks about it.
Yep.
Nobody cares. And it's the same exact thing that happened to AMC. And then everybody says the same thing. Well, I don't care about that. I don't care that they're not making money. I don't care the short interest says it's low. I want to back just the CEO.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a salesman type pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's like anybody, no, and that's the thing. Every one of these CEOs knows this is happening to every stock. It's not like it's crazy news. So at any point, a CEO could go, hey, like you said, let's just make a little gimmick, get our stuff rid. Now our stock's at this. Let me go ahead and convince him. Hey, let's do some little dilution, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. They'll screw the shorts. And then you look over, suddenly the short interest report is now under 1%.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're like, well, where is this? Where are we supposed to be watching at this point? You know what I mean? Then they all say, but then all of a sudden he'll convince you, we need these hundreds of millions of dollars. We're in a bad situation real quick. And then they go out and they bought the hotel. Now they're doing a spinoff. And
the spinoff is going to be, I forget the name of the exchange, like MEJC or something like that. It's a blockchain exchange. So it'd be a blockchain stock. So it's a crypto stock basically. And so, people are hoping that it's because it can't be funged, that it ends up being sort of like, an overstock situation that, this thing will push to $150, maybe higher, as a result of them not being able to find any of these little crypto shares.
Yeah. So you're hoping all this works out, all this stuff works out. And that's what I feel like. Nobody cares about the company. Everybody's just riding the chance that if a CEO goes after them, the CEO will automatically win. And that's what you're riding on these stocks. You're not worrying about the companies. You're not worrying about anything else. You're basically saying, I believe these CEOs will beat the shorts. Yeah. Or not even beat the shorts. They'll be able to prove the system's faulty, and they'll get paid for it. Yeah. And so will we. Yeah. That's it. Like, that's it. If you 100% think these CEOs will beat the system and you'll get it, then go ahead and jump on it. Yeah. If you think that they'll get destroyed in the process like everyone else, they might ride it up and you could make some money, do it that way. But
I have a feeling that the CEO block, like, they need, I don't know, like a certification process. Sort of like, we need to be able to verify that you aren't a really shitty stock on a shitty company that should die anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
There's been some sort of like, you must meet this criteria to join our CEO block. Otherwise, it's going to be, a free for all for every crappy OTC company that shouldn't exist.
That's losing money. And
I've joined Excelsior. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, and that's the thing. Roger, like, he's a very charismatic person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just talking to him a little bit, watching him, like you just instantly believe in him.
Yep.
He's got that type of a personality.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect person to get out there and be right in the thing too.
Yeah, like I've noticed that like John Berta is sort of like let Hamilton take over, because let's face it, like John Berta is not a great speaker. He takes half an hour to get out a 2-minute spiel, and so yeah, so I think he's sort of like delegated, like, yeah, you are the spokesperson for this whole CEO block thing. We'll let you.
Yeah, because he's super charismatic.
Yeah,
it's super charismatic, and like I said, and that's the thing. It's like, you see John is the perfect guy. Or, I'm sorry, not John, Roger. You see Roger, he's the perfect guy to be like, here's our face, and he makes you just believe in him.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a perfect setup, perfect everything for retailing. I mean, like I said, people are gonna go, well, I made money and stuff. Yeah, I know. Of course you did. I just told you I made money too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I believe that they're necessarily going to win too. I mean, they might not. I'm gonna put some money in there and see if I'm gonna leave some in there that I bought at I bought some at $1.
Yep.
I bought some at like 80 cents. I'll let that keep riding for a while, and I've made some profit. But if they win, sweet. But if not, I mean, it's just a gamble. That's what you're gambling on. You're gambling on them beating the system, and that's what you got to realize.
Yeah, and the system sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, that you're not obviously betting in those OTC companies that should have probably died off anyways, man.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, that's it's kind of like folks, everything you do, approach with trepidation and skepticism.
Yep, exactly.
Like, be just, people always degrade like being cynical, but I think sometimes cynicism is a safety mechanism we have, and that it helps you run through like the game theory process that are what possible outcomes there could be for every single one of these things. Sometimes we win big and then it disappears, and then we win big again, this disappears. And so, if you're playing these things, expect some losses along the way, expect some heartbreak along the way. Not everything is a guaranteed winner. But in the end, find your favorites, do your buy and hold on those, and keep donating to charity. That's moral story.
Support the pups.
Exactly. Support the pups. Biggums, I want to thank you so much, for sticking with it, waiting for the internet to come back for you. I've got Comcast. It's just as terrible. I think actually technically they have the same owners in the end. If you follow it far enough.
I made sure I sent you the images. Like, it's not me. I swear to
God. And thank you. And you showing up, donating and helping raise money for such a cool group as the Guide Dog Foundation. I have no idea what I'm going to do as our March or February Charity Tuesday. Come on by the Reddit and throw out your ideas, or stop by Twitter. Watch Biggums' channel. I've got links for him in the description, as well as his Twitter. He's got way more Twitter followers than I will probably ever end up having. I piss off too many people constantly.
Dude, I make everybody mad every day, man.
People are like, "Girl, I hate you so much," and yeah.
It's crazy, honestly. I'm like, man, I can't believe how much, dude, there's some people on Twitter, they focus on me as much as I focus on, the corruption in the market. It's like, bro, I'm not that important. Sorry, buddy. I don't know why you think I'm mad at that much, but I'm telling you, I don't.
It's good. It's because you got Dave Chappelle as his crack addict, homeless guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a legend, man. How do you not like Chappelle?
What's crack? All right. Well, cool. That's it for me today. I mean, I've been sitting here for like 3 hours. So, and you were able to chat with us for almost 2. So we got through there. Monkey Butt, you did a good job as a spokes dog. And
it was a good amount of money for some puppies. And I mean, like I said, man, anytime you want to do this again, just DM me again. You got my Got my Twitter.
Yeah.
Definitely want to do it again. I mean, like I said, we had a good conversation. I enjoyed it.
Well, we're supposed to do one in September with the ISDA thing, and then my Twitter got deleted. And
yeah, out of nowhere, I was like, what happened? Yeah,
happened a lot. My stalker hasn't been bothering me recently. I was pretty much sure that he was mass reporting me for just constantly, and I think he got his Twitters deleted. So,
dude, I know exactly what you're talking about, dude.
Yeah.
If your name ever came up, there was this one guy that would instantly just go, I mean, dude, it was like 100 times a day I would see this guy post.
Sometimes it was 1,000 times a day for 18 hours a day. Yeah,
it was insane. I know exactly who you're talking about. It's sad, dude.
Like, buddy,
I got one too. His name's Marantz. The dude just like literally.
I had to block Marantz. He was begging to come on my show. Like one day he's like, "God, I'll do a show. And the next day, he was like insulting me and stalking me on the internet. Yep. And I was like,
and that just makes nothing but videos about my videos. I'm like, dude, is that all you got right now? Is videos? You just watch my videos. Pray to God I say one word wrong.
Yeah,
dude, I'm smoking weed on there. I'm probably gonna say a term wrong once or twice, but I'll correct it.
So I just had to be like, block. I don't have.
Oh, dude, that guy's insane. But yeah, good luck with that. I'm glad that guy got banned. That's nuts.
All right. Well, thank you so much. That'll be it, folks. That's it for the day. I'm doing a regular show tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be all sorts of weird news. I have a feeling that the spy might get hit tomorrow. So, yeah, there goes. Thank you again, Biggums, for stopping by. I have a feeling the spy might take a hit tomorrow, and Facebook might take a giant hit tomorrow too. There's a report that came out that they're looking at a 43% revenue drop. I'm not sure if it's quarter over quarter or this quarter compared to last year. But yeah. So I'm thinking it's going to be one of those days when Unusual Whales posts the picture of all the red and says, "Call your mother." I think that's going to be one of those days there. Everybody, thank you so much for making another successful Charity Tuesday. We are at how many now? It's here. July, August, September, October, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, September, August, September, October, November, December, January. We're at 19 months of successful Charity Tuesdays raising money. 19 months in a row, we've met the goal every single time. I say we, I mean you. You have met the goal every single time. You guys are rad. And Charity Tuesdays are fantastic. And I'm sorry that we started a little late today, but infrastructure, that happens. Thank you, everybody. Monkey Butt, you want to thank them too? Yeah, she just rolls her eyes and goes whatever. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for a regular show, sometime probably in the afternoon. Until then, you can have an after dark. Oh, shaboom. I have one more Lindt chocolate, and I'm going to eat it because it's delicious.